My favorite drink from 2 years ago is a Ume Plum Mezcal drink with cucumber and shiso. Okay, I call this the green thumb of Tokyo. And if you don't know what Ume plums are, I have a video on the channel of doing an Ume plum infusion. And here it is. Ume is a Japanese apricot. They call it a Japanese plum, but it's really a Japanese apricot. And they usually pick it when it's green. So you can't tell because this has been sitting in mezcal for about 10 days. But these were bright, bright green. So I want to build this drink, but it's one of these drinks that is labor intensive in the sense of it does take a certain amount of preparation. So I think once you get a hold of the Ume, if you do get a hold of them, I know you can buy them online, but it's a short season. It really is in that early spring, end of March, April. What's going to be fun about this is we're going to spend a good amount of time kind of layering the drink with different Japanese ingredients. If you don't have these ingredients, just feel free to use what excites you. But this is more about like really showing you how to have fun layering different garnishes and things that you can eat throughout the glass, okay? So we're going to start and we're going to start building this. We are going to use some cucumber to start. So these are the Persian cucumbers. I love them. They're smaller. They're sweeter. I love the flavor of them. And because they're small, I'm going to do 4 kind of 1/8 of an inch diameter shots, inch thick. And we're going to add shiso. Shiso is a Japanese basil. So if you've ever been to a Japanese restaurant, you've had sushi, a lot of times they'll lay these leaves on the bottom of a plate and they put the sashimi and the sushi on them. And I feel like they need to utilize this more. This is such an amazing flavor. It's another one of those flavors that's going to program your brain for the first time. It's just, you can't compare it to anything else. You can't say it tastes like anything else. But it's one of those herbs that I love to use. So I'm going to take 3 or 4 of these. I'm going to put those in there. Now, this is a sour cocktail. The plums are making the mezcal sour. And I'm actually going to cut back on the sugar and make it even more sour because I think it goes well with this. So I'm going to do a 1/2 ounce of the agave syrup. That's a 1-to-1 ratio of agave nectar to water. We have a video on this channel on how to make that exactly. It's real easy, real simple. And 3/4 ounce of fresh lime juice. I'm going to take my OXO muddler here with these great teeth. We're going to muddle it now. The shiso really is the star here, so you really want to break those pieces up. Really get those into a nice pesto. Oh, I mean, that is one of the most intoxicating flavors. I absolutely love it. Okay. I also want to show you, like, you don't have to strain every infusion that you make. You know, some are super, super cool to keep as it is, especially if you have it in a big jar. So why not have it there and you're just using a nice little ladle, right? Since you're not over infusing anything. And how cool is that? You know, if somebody's watching you and you're ladling your little Ume Mezcal. Okay, and then let's give that a good shake. This Sonic ice, or what they call Nugget ice or pellet ice, we're going to save for the cocktail. But we'll get some regular ice for shaking. And we will not double strain this. So one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to shake this and put it to the side, okay? Because there's going to be a good amount of involvement in kind of building the cocktail glass. So what we'll do is let's shake it. I don't want you to double strain it. This is definitely a drink. I want all those particles and the shiso and all that stuff. I mean, I love when I get like a yellowtail sushi and there's little pieces of shiso in there. Let's give that a shake. And then this is going to be strained literally into another tin and put aside. Because I don't want to shake it and just keep it in this tin because it will get watered down, right? So now that's my drink that I'm going to pour. But at least it's not going to sit on ice. Okay, we'll put that to the side. So, again, I am using all of these kind of Asian-inspired Japanese flavors to layer in here. If you don't have these things, I know you can find these things, but this might take a little bit of planning as well. You know, like you've got 7 to 10 days as you're making this infusion. Maybe you need to start thinking about where am I going to get my shiso from? Where am I going to get these pickles from? So what I'm using is purple shiso and regular shiso. I've got two different kinds of regular radishes. I've got something called a pickled daikon. Daikon is another type of radish, a big, big white thing, and this has been fermented, meaning they basically let it sit and over time in vinegars and different things, and it starts to create this incredible flavor, okay? And then I also took cordyceps mushrooms, which is these really unusual long stringing, and I just pickled them in champagne vinegar. So that's all that is. It's just taking, and I just love it. To think that this is a mushroom is really cool. It's different, right? Now, one of the things that they do in the culinary aspect of the ume plums is they make something called umeboshi. And umeboshi is taking those plums and just putting them in a jar and salting them. Okay? Some natural liquid will come up, but the result is that you've got these incredible salted plums. They use this a lot in sushi and different foods. So we're actually going to cut those up as well. And then I have these lotus roots, which is it's a popular plant all around Asia that kind of grows in marshes and water areas and places that there's a lot of water. And these have just been pickled in some soy sauce or some tamari with a little bit of jalapeno and lime juice, okay? So let's get started. Again, this is your palette, this is your canvas, have fun. But the way it's going to work is you're going to put a little bit of ice and then these little things to eat. A little bit of ice and then these things to eat. Just keep building it all the way to the top. Put things down the side. And now, and then you'll pour the drink at the end. Okay, so let's get going on that. I'll show you the first layer and basically repeat. Okay, so I'm going to put some regular radishes in there. I'm going to put some of these daikon pickles in there. I want to show you a cutting technique that's called a chiffonade. And what that is, let's get this juice out of here. I'm using a purple shiso, which is still another flavor, but now I'm going to be adding color because this is a green drink. A chiffonade is where you take something like an herb like this, you roll it up. So you're rolling it kind of like you would roll up a sleeping bag in a way, right? And then you literally just cut it down the sides. And what you're doing is you're getting these beautiful strips of herbs. I mean, people love to do this with basil or different things like that. But it's a wonderful way of having these strips, and it's beautiful, right? So I'm going to put some of that through there. And then I'm going to take some of the salted plum. This has a lot of flavor. And then the way to do this, if you can do this really well, put a little bit of the ice in, especially when you're just about to put the lotus root in, and then kind of lean that there. Because the whole thing that's going to look great is when you see that from the side, it's going to be standing up. So if there's a way that you can kind of plant these lotus roots so they stay stuck in there. Okay. And then, since I put the ice in, then you're going to start all over again, okay? All right, I think I've done a pretty good job of layering that. You can kind of tell. Sometimes you just, you know, maybe you don't have to do as thick of layers of ice, so just be conscious of that. So what's great is you actually can eat the ice afterwards. There's going to be a lot of great flavors from it. But let's pour this drink in there now. So I've kept this in the tin, undiluted, and we'll pour that in. Look, it's such a light color that it's perfect that we've layered all these other things in there. Beautiful. And then the last part that I like to do is we're going to put these pickled cordyceps on top. And I've just pickled these, and these are in champagne vinegar. And look at that. That's a mushroom. It's a long, stringy mushroom. So we're going to put this on the side there. These are really great. So everything is going to be wonderful to eat afterwards. That's the whole point of this. And what's great is all of those vegetables and the fermentations and the vinegars, they're all kind of adding to the cocktail. So the longer you take to drink the cocktail, the more those flavors are going to really, really soak in. I definitely recommend using a metal straw, not with a spoon this time because this is so jam-packed. You really want to keep that in the whole time and do the eating at the end. Maybe what you do is you have a nice spoon or something that you can kind of serve on the side if you want to eat everything afterwards. And there we go. Let's get that side. This is the green thumb of Tokyo. Let's give it a sip. Oh my God. That is this is everything that I'm about. It's fresh, it's different. The shiso, you've got the sourness, and you've got all the things. And listen, like I've said many times, this pellet ice, this nugget ice, this sonic ice, it doesn't really melt. I don't understand it. It stays in there, it keeps it cold. And what's great is these flavors of these pickles and everything like that, they're gonna keep marinating into it. So this is beyond exciting. I go to town, have fun. Cheers. The green thumb of Tokyo.